Now an idea came to me, and this video is really going to be for the people that really want to explore making new playable characters in something like a multiple character playthrough. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, you know what I'm talking about. If you're not, it's when you play multiple characters in the one save, and they've all got their own different story arcs and stuff like that. And we're meeting one of them today, and this is Sigund Bearclaw. Now, the kind of like the way of really mastering this is, well, alright, first of all, it's kind of hard to, because this just comes off the head. I don't script any of this crap. There's two kinds of role players when it comes to Bethesda games. So there's actually three, but one of them's just, they turn their games into porn games. There's two. There's the role player that makes an avatar of themselves and plays the game through like what they would do if they were in Skyrim. And there is the sort of the rerun role player that plays the role of a character they create. And they might create a dark elf necromancer or a vampire high elf warlock or a sneaky archer, thief sort of character. And after 2 weeks they're pretty much done and they re-roll normally. But they can play multiple different playthroughs pretty much back to back, which is, I can't do that. I play my own character. But I'm also a mix now of the both. This is how I blended it together. So I always wanted to create a different, like, I wanted to play new characters, but I didn't like the idea that my character wouldn't be there anymore. And I knew that if I started this, I wouldn't be interested in playing that save when my character wasn't there. My character is Centauros. He's my avatar in Skyrim. He's a support. He's an Imperial, because I, as a player, support the Empire. Because I think for the better along of Tamriel and of all mankind, it's better that the Empire wins, but that's just me. Of course, because I come out of my first Bethesda game was Oblivion. Cyrodiil, the home of the Empire. I played an Imperial, so it's nostalgia for me. If you were younger than I was, or maybe like 10 or 11 when you played Skyrim, or maybe a little bit older, and Skyrim was your first Bethesda Elder Scrolls game, then you would no doubt feel that Skyrim is your home, the Nords are your people, and no doubt that Skyrim belongs to be independent. It deserves its own strength. Now, again, like I said, there's two kinds of different role players. I wanted to try both, but again, I didn't really know how until I thought about playing multiple different characters. And all different inspirations from all different sorts of media definitely helped with that, like Avatar, The Last Airbender, and Legends of Korra. Even Merlin, the TV show, which was like my favourite TV show. It's the reason my Dragonborn's eyes kind of turned dragon sort of yellow, orange when they first absorbed their first dragon soul. All different sorts of media inspired this. But, well, if you're like a role player like me, where you play your character in the world you've thrown into, you make your avatar, how can you play multiple different characters? Well, you need to jump into that character. That character is not you. Okay, it's not your being. You know, like, I've had comments saying that she's not such a smart woman because she slept with Mikael. Yeah, we know that. But, see, you're looking at it through your point of view. You're not looking at it through their point of view. Now, this character I'm talking about was Mara, and she's a young priestess, she's a young adventurer who is half Redguard, or half Nord, half Redguard. And she's travelling her mother's homeland, Skyrim, and she listens to some fine tunes of a handsome young Nord, and later on beds him. You know, we know that Mikael's a scumbag. He's just there to, you know, fucking finger anything that looks like it'd be fingered. He's a deviant. But she doesn't know that. You know, me as the character, as the creator, I have to create that character and jump into their skin. You know, and I gotta like, I manually gotta think like, it's pretty hard because I'm a male. I've got to think that I'm a young Nord woman that's meeting a handsome young Nord, and she doesn't know any better. He's playing, because women love music, and they love men that can dance, men that can sing, men that can play instruments, stuff like that. And she's, you know, she's seeing this handsome looking Nord. He's playing guitar. He's very confident, and you know, he's very, well, I don't know, very forward, and she likes that. And she gets a little bit drunk, and end of the night, her sort of decision-making skills aren't all there, and so she decides to have a bit of fun. You know, I've got to play as that character. I've got to jump into them and, you know, be them. It's a character that I created. It's not my character. Even my character Centauros is now more of his own character than he is my character. You know, he's more of a sort of ambitious imperial soldier who wants to earn fame and glory, or I'm not going to say glory, but prestige for the empire, so he can better place himself higher up in the military echelons or politics in Cyrodiil much later on when the war's done. To where Sigund here is fighting to rid the empire, rid Skyrim of the empire, because it makes her land sick, because that's all she knows. She grew up in the east. She's trying to push him out because she believes that Skyrim needs to be strong on its own. And she fights for glory and honour, as the Nords kind of do. Companionship for Skyrim, it's burning in her heart to fight to free her lands. Where it's different for Centauros. He fights for personal gain, more of, and that these things can change. Which brings me to another thing about these characters. You need to make a plan for them. You know, when you're creating their face, you always think about where they came from. Where did their journey start? Where did their life start? What brought them here? But you kind of need to think of a plan for their life going forward, like you do when you grow up, or when you're a young adult, or even when you're a kid. You need to think, what is what they want to do? You know, Sigund here, she wants to free Skyrim. She wants to kick out the Empire and restore proper Nordic rule, you know, to Skyrim. But she doesn't want to do it in a racist way, where she isn't like most Nords. She doesn't care about who you lay with. She doesn't care about who you are. If you say Skyrim is your home and you love Skyrim, she considers you a true Nord at heart, and she wants to free, she wants to push the weakness out of Skyrim and really bring it back to what it was. Those who had true hearts to rule Skyrim, and like there's a plan for her. Her plan is to push out the Empire, and maybe settle down and build up build up the Northern armies to protect Skyrim from the future, either future Imperial attack or future Elven attack. Where for what's another character? Minerva, we've met her, she's a mage character. Her plan was pretty much to leave home because her parents were very sort of racist or arrogant, pompous high elves. And she left to go and do her own thing. She became a nomad. She went north into High Rock to explore the Iliad ruins, an ancient, starts and crypts of the Breton people. Went to Hammerfell to explore the Dwemer ruins, because that was really interesting to her. So Dwemer are very interesting, and then she'd move into Skyrim, what she did. But her plan was to move into Skyrim, maybe study some magic at the college for the winter, then move off once winter blew over. She would move east into Morrowind and explore more Dwemer ruins and ancient sort of Daedric ruins of the Dark Elves, and the Chima and even Chima ruins, and that sort of stuff. Her plan was to go forward with her life to get out of Skyrim, but she became the Archmage, and she kind of settled into the position because of the crazy stuff that happened. So when I'm creating a character, I've got to think about where they come from, what led them here, and what is their future plan. Even if their plan doesn't come true, their plan could, let's go meet some characters and I'll kind of explain about their plan. Now, here is Mara. We last met her in I don't know what chapter it was, but it's called The Night of Mara, and she is a Nord woman that was born and raised in Hammerfell, right? And she's got that sort of darker skin complexion, a bit like a Redguard. Now, when I jumped into her, I had to play as her. It's not my avatar. It's not.
Is there anything else you need?
What I would do. Why are you talking to me? So, I had to think about what she would do in the situation as a young Nord traveller, travelling into a land that she has only heard stories about from her mother. And sort of, as someone that explores a different country, you're pretty new, you're pretty eager, you're also pretty gullible, but you're also pretty on guard too. So her plan was, obviously, growing up, she was told stories from her mother of her mother's homeland, and she always wanted to see that land, always wanted to explore it, because her mother had so many beautiful and interesting stories that this young girl wanted to see for herself. But of course her father was a guard, and she wanted to grow up to be a guard just like her father, to protect the people of Sentinel, to protect the people of Hammerfell. And before she decided to commit to being a guard, she wanted to explore her mother's homeland, visit the places that her mother had always talked about. Got to know her people better, the Nordic people, because she was pretty much, like, probably the only Nord child in Sentinel where she grew up. There could have been other Nordic children, but they might have been from both Nords, or they might have been Nords that moved from Skyrim to Sentinel. So she was pretty much on her own when it comes to being a Nord, growing up amongst Redguard children. And her plan is, when she's done exploring Skyrim, she's going to head back to Sentinel and put on the guard armor and, become a guard of Sentinel under her father. And, live her life as a guard, probably meet someone, have a family, blah blah. That's her plan. But what's actually gonna happen, right, for her character, is that gigantic flying lizards that always fast travel, or always spawn when you fast travel, are gonna rock up. And they're gonna disturb her plans. She's still gonna be in Skyrim traveling, exploring when gigantic fire-breathing lizards come out of the sky. Her plans are being put on halt. She will hear the call of a young woman who will call for aid, that she needs help. Well, normally it's more of the companions that will call for help. And, well, that will be pretty much what happens. People across Skyrim, people outside of Skyrim, adventurers, mercenaries, heroes, or people that just don't want to see the world collapse, will come to this woman and bend the knee. Mara is one of them, because she doesn't want to see people being burnt alive by dragons. She believes she's a good person, she's a white knight. She wants to help people, and helping people not be eaten alive or burnt alive or enslaved by dragons is the sort of thing she'll do. She will fight. Now her plans could continue. She could become a hero of Skyrim and fight off many dragons and help the Dragonborn kill dragons and save the world. And then decide, holy crap, I'm done from here. I'm going to return back home and become a guard. Or she could decide that she really likes Skyrim and she wants to make it her home and start a family here. Or she could die to dragonfires or any sort of creature that comes across her journey in Skyrim. Her story, her plan is not completely written, and that's how I create these characters. I want to give them a plan, something that they want to do, something that character is aiming for, but might not actually happen. Again, her returning home after Skyrim peacefully is not going to happen. The dragons are going to return, and shit's going to hit the fan. She's going to come, because it's in her character, to be a white knight and protect the people of Skyrim, to protect any sort of person, influenced by her father. So she's going to help the Dragonborn fight dragons, and either she survives and decides to move back to Hammerfell, which is undecided yet, or survive and meet someone during the journey that she falls in love with and decides to settle down in Skyrim, or maybe she does meet someone in Skyrim and falls in love, but she still dies, and her body is buried here in her ancestral people's home of Skyrim. So you got to think about a future plan for them. And you don't want to completely write their story. You want to think about where they want to go. Like you did as a kid. What did you want to do when you grew up? And did that plan really go to motion? A bit like Avina here. I've got to change her face paint. It looks disgusting. She was an Imperial. Imperial baby pretty much, when her parents were travelling through Markarth as merchants, when they were set upon by Reachmen, and they were killed, and the baby was crying her eyes out. Basically sent back to the shaman to be a sacrifice to the old gods. When the shaman grabbed her, the baby stopped crying, and the shaman knew then that she could never harm her, that she instantly found love because she lost a child of her own recently, within a year or so. And she basically decided not to sacrifice the child, but to raise her. And Vina, an Imperial, became a Reach woman. But she didn't jump into the whole, because this is after... she was taken just after by a different clan that wasn't involved with the Markarth problem. And she grew up in the Reach, not raiding or killing people like the rest of them. She and her mother, her adopted mother, decided to work with the Whiterun Guard. If they were out and they were sick or they were injured, her mother would brew them potions and heal them and that sort of stuff, as long as the Markarth Guard didn't try and kill them because of the way they looked. Octavia over here, right now she's a 0. Her entire story character is based off 0 to hero, and she's a different supporting character. She's a supporting character to a different one, to a different character. She's a supporting character to her adoptive daughter. If you're a fan of the series, you'll know who I'm talking about. She's just a farmer, and she lives on a farm with her mother and her little sister, and certain things will happen where that will all change, and she'll be saved by a certain somebody she'll then seek that somebody. Her plan is, her plan is just to basically find someone to marry eventually. Find somebody, start a family, run her own farm, blah blah. But that will change when certain events happen, and that'll be soon. Hopefully get that done soon. Where she'll then try to seek the person that saved her, and she'll want to find that sort of strength, because she didn't have that strength and the people that she cared about were gone. Or lost is a better word for it. And she wants to be strong like the woman that saved her. She wants to be powerful, so she can never feel that sort of weakness or that scared ever again. And she'll seek her out, and she'll find her, and she'll join her, and well, join in the blood, I guess you could say. So all these characters, I know they're all female. I'm lacking a few. I haven't got the assassin in me just yet. All of them have a plan. All of them have their own characteristics. They are not me. Alright? I'm not their avatar. They're not my avatar, sorry. You got to think of a story for them, where they came from, what did they do, like Octavia here. Her mother and her baby sister moved to Skyrim because their father joined, basically signed with the Empire and was moved to Skyrim with the growing rebellion that was stirring up with rebel cells and all that sort of crap. And he was killed pretty much shortly after they arrived, and they had to stay in Skyrim to work on the farms to support themselves because their father was now dead. So they had to stay where they were. They couldn't afford to go back empty-handed. And voila. So, yeah, they've all got stories, they've all got plans, they've all got places they want to go, but it might not exactly happen. Like I said, Octavia's a supporting character. She will join that character when they join the Dragonborn. And she could very well survive through it. My last plan was, since her father was an Imperial, when the Dragon Wars ended, so she survived my last playthrough, she wanted to help the Empire finish this war, because her father was an Imperial soldier, and her father was killed by Stormcloak, so she left the supporting character behind for some time, because the supporting character, which I'll just give away now, Freya, wasn't willing to join the war, didn't want to pick a side because she doesn't care about it. Octavia left to join Centauros to help finish the war. And that's exactly what she was doing. She joined under the Empire to see an end to the Stormcloak Rebellion, to kind of avenge her father but bring peace to Skyrim. And all that sort of stuff. And even Cecilia, if she survives, which I dare say she will, I want her to be a legacy character. I want her to be in the next Elder Scrolls game. She survives, just like as she was an Imperial soldier during the Oblivion Crisis. She is convinced by Centauros that this is something that she probably should do, help them finish the war, and she joins. She puts back on her old Imperial armor, like her old modified Imperial armor, and she rejoins the ranks of the Empire under the command of, I think it's Prefect Centauros Gabianus. And that's all the sort of stuff, alright? This is the sort of stuff that I create for these characters. Where they come from, what are they doing, what led them here to Skyrim, what are their plans in Skyrim, what are their plans in life. Will certain things interrupt that, and will things out of my control, like life or death, interrupt their entire story? That's the sort of things I'm talking about. This is the reason I made this video, to explain kind of character creation. You gotta remember, you created these characters, but you are not these characters. Anyway, I think I've rambled for way too long, and I hope this has helped people that are really into multiple character playthroughs, or just building characters, either it be in this game, or another game, or another story, or in a book. Hopefully this has helped you. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here, and I finished doing this chick's chapter, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you like, subscribe. There's always more to come when it comes to story creation. I don't care if you like or not, you can dislike it if you want. And if you want to keep notified on stories and that sort of stuff, hit that little bell thing. I don't know, you can if you want, I don't care. Either way, I hope you've enjoyed your time here, and I'll catch you in another video. Peace out.